Windbreaks are an important part of Nebraska's ag landscape. Established windbreaks protect against wind, soil erosion, and help in snow management. Over the last couple of years, however, environmental pressures may have damaged trees. Kurtis reports on the problems landowners in the state may be experiencing.
By taking a quick trip through Nebraska, it may be easy to spot dead or dying trees in windbreaks. These damaged trees may be even more prevalent now due to back-to-back years of drought stress. Dennis Adams is an extension forester with the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. He says younger seedling trees are more susceptible to drought damage than older trees because older trees are usually more established in the soil. However, because of last year's drought, Adams noticed damage in older trees early on in the spring.
One of the things I've noticed about trees this year is the growth this year, when the buds broke and the new growth came out, was a lot weaker than it would normally be. So the new leader growth is quite a bit smaller and the trees are they're still under a lot of stress.
Adams says the drought has been especially difficult for spruces, firs, and white pines, and people may see these trees browning and dying in their windbreaks. If landowners notice pine trees going from green to completely brown and dead in only a few weeks, drought may not be the culprit.
That is probably a disease called pine wilt, and it mostly affects Scotch pine, but it can affect Austrian pine and some other pines also. But probably the dead trees people are seeing around in windbreaks and landscape trees that are large trees is pine wilt.
Pine wilt is caused by microscopic nematodes. These nematodes are spread from one tree to another by the pine sawyer beetle, which feeds on the twigs and branches of the trees.
And then it causes wounds in the tree, and the nematode gets off of the insect and gets in the tree and multiplies quite rapidly, so it effectively shuts off the vascular system in the tree, so water can't be conducted in the tree, and the tree basically just dries up. Then when the tree is infected with nematodes, when the larvae in the tree mature and the beetles come out, the beetles carry the nematodes out of that tree and carry them onto another tree, and the whole cycle carries on.
Pine wilt easily transfers from tree to tree and can quickly kill established windbreaks. While all pine trees are susceptible to the nematodes that cause pine wilt, it's the exotic species, like Scotch and Austrian pine, which experience the most damage.
The native trees like ponderosa pine and white pine that are native to the United States don't seem to be nearly as affected with pine wilt.
Adams predicts that Scotch pine may someday be completely eliminated from the state because it is the most susceptible to pine wilt and it's difficult to treat. The best way to control pine wilt is to prevent the disease from spreading.
Cutting the infected trees out and either chipping them or burying them or burning them, and that basically gets rid of the insect. So that's the only real treatment, is to slow down the spread of the disease.
When filling in gaps in windbreaks caused by drought or pine wilt, it's recommended to use a variety of tree species. This will prevent the entire tree stand from being affected should a pest or disease emerge. Reporting for Market Journal, I'm Kurtis.
Thanks, Kurtis. Should landowners notice problems with pine wilt, you have until spring to control the spread. The insects causing the disease won't emerge over winter. You can visit our website for more information on this issue.